Have you ever noticed how some people talk endlessly about their goals but never seem to accomplish anything? They share their dreams with everyone, but when the time comes to deliver, they fall short. Why is that? Because talk is easy, but real success comes from action. Imagine if you stopped talking about your ambitions and instead focused on doing the work. What would happen if you kept your plans private and let your results speak for themselves? The truth is, people will respect you more when your actions show your value rather than your words. In this video, we're going to dive into why it's important to stop seeking validation from others, why silence is your greatest asset, and how focusing on what you do, not what you say, will get you where you want to go. Stay tuned, because this is the real path to success. Chapter 1. Build your results before you speak about goals. You know, people talk a lot. They talk about what they want to do. They talk about what they're going to become. They tell the world all about their dreams, their plans, their big goals. And most of the time, they haven't even started. They haven't put in the work. They haven't built the foundation. They haven't done the one thing that actually matters, producing real results. I want you to understand something very clearly. Talking about your goals doesn't make them real. Telling people what you're planning to do doesn't push you an inch closer to it. It just gives you a small hit of dopamine, a little rush, a temporary feeling like you've already done something, when in fact you haven't done anything at all. You've just talked. The world is full of people who talk about doing something. You hear it everywhere. I'm going to start this. I'm planning to build that. I'm thinking about chasing this dream. But when you look back 6 months later, 1 year later, nothing has changed. Why? Because words don't build anything. Effort does, sweat does, discipline does, silence does. If you want to stand out, if you want to actually build something real, something solid, something that can't be ignored, then stop talking and start doing. Build your results first. Get something done before you go around explaining what you're up to. Build the proof, earn the credibility. Build the thing that people can't look away from. You don't owe anyone your goals. You owe yourself your results. And if you keep telling people what you're going to do before you've done it, you start tricking your own mind into believing you've already accomplished something. That's dangerous. Because now you're rewarding yourself emotionally for something you haven't earned physically. That kind of false reward kills hunger. It kills drive. It kills the urgency that makes people move with fire. And when you start sharing your goals too early, you open the door to other people's opinions. Now they're giving you advice, questioning your choices, maybe even doubting you. Suddenly you're not focused on building anymore. You're managing reactions. You're explaining yourself. You're trying to defend your dream instead of building it quietly. That's a distraction. That takes your focus away from the one thing that matters: execution. You don't need 10 people to tell you whether your goal is valid. You already know. If it's in your heart, it's real. If it wakes you up at night, if it makes you restless, if it won't leave your mind, then it's real. And if it's real, then it deserves real effort. Not just words. You need to protect your focus like your life depends on it. Because it does. Your future depends on it. Every day the world tries to pull your attention in 1,000 directions, and every time you start explaining your plans to someone, that's one more piece of your energy being drained. You don't even notice it at first. But over time, you feel it. The fatigue, the loss of clarity, the pressure to live up to what you said, instead of staying grounded in what you're doing. Results are built in quiet rooms, not loud conversations. They're built when you wake up early and stay consistent. They're built when you say no to distractions and keep your head down. They're built when nobody's watching, and you're doing the work anyway. That's how real success is created. That's how you separate yourself from the talkers. You can either talk or build, but you can't do both at the same time. Building takes everything you've got. Your time, your mind, your energy, your drive. And if you give too much of that away talking about what you're going to do, you'll have nothing left for the actual doing. You don't need to impress anyone with promises. Let your progress do the talking. Let your consistency speak for itself. Let the results shout for you, because when people start seeing you win, they'll ask what you've been up to, and by then you won't need to explain. They'll see it, they'll feel it, they'll respect it. Because you did something most people never do. You stayed silent, and you got it done. There's a deep kind of power in being the person who says nothing and delivers everything. It builds trust. It builds strength. It builds self-respect. And when you start respecting yourself on that level, everything changes. Your mindset shifts. Your standards rise. Your vision gets sharper. You don't tolerate nonsense anymore. You don't waste time defending what you know is right. You just move forward, quietly, relentlessly, confidently. You want to build a life that speaks without you having to say a word. That's real power. That's what the greats do. They don't post every step. They don't advertise every plan. They just move. They make the tough choices. They delay gratification. They give up the short-term praise for long-term growth. They know that when you focus in silence, you win in public. So stop sharing what you haven't finished. Stop announcing things you haven't done. Stop looking for applause when you're only halfway there. And stop thinking that just because you said it, it means something. It doesn't mean anything until you build it. Start showing up for yourself. Every single day, even when nobody's watching. Especially then, because the progress you make in private is what builds the strength to win in public. If you want the world to take you seriously, take yourself seriously first. And that starts by putting your head down and getting to work. You don't need to say you're working. You don't need to say you're grinding. Just grind. Just build. And when it's done, they'll see it. They'll feel it. And most importantly, you'll know it. You'll know you earned it. You'll know you did it the right way. You'll know that while others were busy trying to impress the world with words, you were too busy building something real. Because the truth is, most people don't really care about your goals. They care about results. They care about what you've built, what you've achieved. And when they see it, they'll listen, but not before. So don't waste your energy trying to convince people who aren't even paying attention. Put that energy into your craft, into your growth, into your discipline, into the work that actually creates change. You want to live a different life. You have to move differently. And that starts with shutting out the noise and focusing on the work. No more announcements. No more premature celebrations. No more trying to impress. Just build. Just improve. You know what you need to do. Now do it. Quietly, consistently, relentlessly. And when the time comes, when the work is done and the results are undeniable, you won't have to say a word. Chapter 2. Protect your energy by working in total silence. Silence is not just about sound. It's about space. Mental space. Emotional space. The kind of space you need to protect your energy, your peace, your progress. We live in a loud world. People are always talking, always posting, always sharing. And in the middle of all that noise, your energy is leaking. Every notification, every unimportant conversation, every unnecessary update. It all drains something from you, even if you don't feel it right away. You can't keep pouring yourself into things that don't fuel your growth and expect to stay focused, sharp, and clear. There's a power in doing your work in total silence. When no one knows what you're doing, when you don't feel the pressure to explain, justify, or promote, you gain a different kind of strength. You give yourself permission to go deep, deep into your goals, deep into your growth, deep into the work that actually changes your life. That kind of focus doesn't happen in a loud, chaotic environment. It happens when you make a clear decision to guard your energy like it matters, because it does. Your energy is everything. It's not just about physical strength. It's your attention, your emotion, your mental clarity. If those are constantly being scattered, then even if you're working, you're not really progressing. You're reacting. And when you live in reaction mode, you lose control. You start getting distracted by things that have nothing to do with the life you're trying to build. You waste time thinking about what others are doing, what they think of you, what they said or didn't say, and all of that weakens you. Quiet working protects you from that. When you choose to work in silence, you create a space where you're not being pulled in 100 directions. You're not proving anything. You're not trying to keep up. You're just focused on what matters. The work, the improvement, the slow, steady, daily effort. That's where your power lives. In the silence where nobody else sees the grind, but you feel the growth. You feel yourself getting stronger. You feel the shift. That's the space where real transformation happens. You can't give your best when your energy is scattered. You can't stay sharp when you're constantly plugged in. You have to unplug. You have to disconnect from the things that drain you and reconnect with the purpose that drives you. The world will tempt you with attention, validation, and quick dopamine hits. But those things come at a cost. They distract you from the deeper work. The kind of work that doesn't look impressive on the outside, but creates real change on the inside. Most people don't understand the value of silence because they've never truly lived in it. They're afraid of it, afraid to be alone with their thoughts, afraid to sit in stillness without reaching for their phone. But silence isn't empty. Silence is full of answers. It shows you what matters. It brings clarity. It sharpens your instincts. It brings you face to face with the truth about where you are and what you need to do. That truth is the fuel you need. You don't need more opinions. You don't need more noise. You need clarity. And clarity only comes from silence. When you remove the distractions and put yourself in a space where your mind can breathe, that's when you begin to see what's really draining you. Maybe it's people who don't support your vision. Maybe it's bad habits disguised as entertainment. Maybe it's your own need to be seen and heard too early. All of that pulls from your energy bank. So protect it. Protect your focus. Protect your drive. Protect the hours when you're at your best. You don't owe anyone constant access to you. You don't have to respond to every message, every email, every call. You don't have to explain your boundaries. You set them because you respect your mission. You set them because you know that in silence, you are building something powerful. There is a discipline in keeping things to yourself while you work. Not because you're hiding, but because you're protecting. Protecting your mental space. Protecting your emotional clarity. Protecting the process. Every time you resist the urge to talk about your next move, you keep that energy where it belongs, inside the work. And that's where it can actually create results. You don't need outside noise to stay motivated. You need inner commitment. You need to be so locked into your goals that outside voices become irrelevant. And that only happens when you work in silence long enough to understand your own rhythm, your own drive, your own standards. The more you practice it, the more you start to notice how much better you feel. how much sharper you think, how much deeper your work becomes. When you work in silence, you learn to lead yourself. You stop waiting for praise, validation, or even support. You realize that all the strength you need is already within you, but you can't hear it in the noise. You can only hear it in the quiet. That voice inside you, the one that knows the truth, the one that knows what you're capable of. It gets louder when everything else gets quieter. The people who win are not the loudest. They're the most focused. They're the ones who didn't let distractions steal their time. They're the ones who sacrificed attention for mastery. They're the ones who weren't obsessed with being seen. They were obsessed with becoming better. And they knew the only way to become better was to create a world where their energy wasn't constantly under attack. You don't need the world to watch you build. You just need to build. Every time you choose silence, you are choosing to grow without interference. You are choosing to make your own rules. You are choosing to rise without permission. That's powerful. That's freedom. And it's available to you the moment you decide that your peace matters more than popularity. Protecting your energy is not selfish. It's necessary. Because you're building something that requires everything you have. Your future is not a side project. It's not something you can casually work on while also trying to keep everyone else happy. It's something you commit to, fully. And that kind of commitment demands silence. It demands focus. It demands boundaries. Start treating your energy like it's limited, because it is. Start asking yourself every day, where is my energy going? If too much of it is going to things that don't matter, it's time to pull back. It's time to say no. It's time to cut the noise. And it's time to get serious about what you're building. You don't need noise to feel alive. You need purpose. You need a clear mission. You need quiet time to align yourself with what really matters. You need long stretches of uninterrupted thought. You need space to think critically. You need time away from the spotlight to become someone worth watching. So take that time. Give yourself permission to go silent, to disappear from the crowd for a while, to retreat from the constant rush of outside voices, and in that silence put everything you've got into becoming the best version of yourself. Not because someone's watching, not because you want recognition, but because you respect your potential too much to waste it. You will come back stronger. You will come back with results. You will return with clarity, with depth, with something real. And when you do, you won't need to say much. The way you carry yourself will speak louder than anything you could say. Your energy will be different. Your presence will be sharper, because you earned it in the silence. So the next time you feel the urge to explain yourself, stop. The next time you feel pulled into another pointless distraction, walk away. The next time someone demands your energy for something that doesn't serve you, protect it. Because every time you do that, you're not just guarding your peace, you're building your future. You don't need the world's permission to focus. You don't need applause for doing what's right for you. You just need to show up for your own life, fully, quietly, powerfully, in the silence where real growth lives. And that's where you win, every single day. Chapter 3. Train yourself to move without seeking approval. Most people spend their lives waiting for someone to tell them they're doing the right thing, waiting for permission to start, waiting for approval to move forward. But the truth is, if you want to live a life on your terms, you have to stop waiting. You have to train yourself to move without needing anyone to clap for you. Because if you need approval, you're not free, you're controlled. And anything that controls you will keep you small. Approval is a trap. It makes you hesitant. It makes you question yourself. It puts your power in someone else's hands. You start adjusting your actions based on what other people might think. You stop trusting your own instincts. You stop following your own path. And instead, you start following the crowd, trying to fit into places that were never meant for you. That's not growth. That's survival. And survival doesn't lead to greatness. You were not born to be liked. You were born to grow. You were born to become strong. You were born to find out what you're capable of. And none of that happens when you're constantly trying to please others. If you wait for everyone to agree with your decisions, you'll wait forever. Because the truth is, most people don't even know what's right for themselves, let alone for you. They're projecting their own fears, their own limitations, their own insecurities. And if you let that guide you, you're lost before you begin. You have to decide who you want to be. And once you decide, you have to move. Move without second guessing. Move without needing validation. Move without explaining. The approval will come later, after the work is done, after the proof is visible, after the results are real. But if you need that before you begin, you'll never begin. Or worse, you'll start. But you'll quit the moment someone criticizes you, because your actions were rooted in their praise, not your purpose. When you act from purpose, you stop caring who claps. You stop chasing recognition. You stop needing people to understand you. You just move, quietly, boldly, relentlessly, because you're not looking for someone to make you feel okay about your path. You've already accepted that it's yours, and that's enough. Every time you choose to trust yourself instead of waiting for someone else to support your move, you get stronger. You become more independent. You start learning from your own experience. You stop living in fear of being wrong, because you understand that mistakes are part of the process. You stop overthinking every step, because you realize that clarity comes from action, not from approval. Most people never train themselves to be mentally independent. They get stuck in the loop of seeking feedback before every decision. And while they're asking 10 people for advice, someone else is already doing the thing they were afraid to try. That person is failing faster, learning quicker, and growing stronger. Because they weren't waiting. They were moving. You don't build courage by being accepted. You build courage by acting while you're uncertain. You build it by making decisions even when no one is clapping for you. You build it by standing firm in your choices when others question them. And the more you practice that, the more unshakable you become. There's a part of you that already knows what you should be doing, but it's buried under years of conditioning. Teachers, friends, family, society, they all trained you to fit in, to seek permission, to follow the standard path. And if you want to break out of that, you have to retrain your mind. You have to stop seeking permission and start trusting your direction. You have to rebuild the habit of moving, because it's right, not because it's popular. Approval seeking is addictive. It gives you a temporary hit of safety, a quick feeling that you belong. But that feeling fades, and once it's gone, you'll need it again. So you'll start adjusting your behavior to get it. You'll make safer choices. You'll dull your edge. You'll play smaller. And eventually, you'll wake up one day wondering how you ended up living a life that doesn't feel like yours. You cannot create a meaningful life while trying to keep everyone happy. You can't build something bold while making sure no one disagrees with you. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens in discomfort. It happens when you do what's necessary, even when it's not popular, even when people don't understand it, even when you're alone. Moving without approval teaches you who you really are. It forces you to define yourself, because now, you're not reacting to the crowd, you're following your own compass. And the more you follow it, the more natural it becomes. You stop hesitating. You stop waiting. You stop doubting. You just move. And each move gives you more clarity, more confidence, more momentum. You need to stop explaining your vision to people who don't see it. You need to stop convincing others to support what's already in your heart. That energy is better used taking action, because the right people won't need to be convinced. They'll see your results. They'll feel your strength, but they'll only notice once you've already moved. The world respects action, not promises, not explanations, not potential. Action, results, movement. And if you want respect, real respect, it starts with moving when no one believes in you. That's how you earn it. Not by talking, not by seeking approval, by doing. It's not about being stubborn. It's about being grounded. Grounded in your own values. Grounded in your own decisions. Grounded in your own direction. And yes, you'll make mistakes. That's part of it. But at least they'll be your mistakes. And those mistakes will teach you more than 100 people's opinions ever could. You don't have to be reckless. You just have to be committed. Committed to your own path. Committed to doing what you know is right for you, even when it's uncomfortable. Especially then, because that's where your character is built. Not when it's easy, but when it's hard, and you keep moving anyway. Training yourself to move without seeking approval doesn't mean ignoring advice. It means learning to filter it. It means listening with discernment, not dependency. It means you can take in information, but you still make the final decision. Because at the end of the day, you're the one who has to live with the outcome, not them. Every time you wait for someone to approve your next move, you hand them control over your life. You make their opinion more important than your own potential, and that has to stop. You are the one who knows what drives you. You are the one who knows what kind of life you want. So you have to be the one who takes the wheel. People will question you. That's a fact. They'll tell you to be more realistic, to slow down, to do it like everyone else. And when that happens, you have two options. You can shrink back to make them comfortable, or you can stand tall and move forward anyway. And every time you choose the second option, you grow. You're not here to meet expectations. You're here to reach your potential. And that requires courage. Courage to take steps before you're ready. Courage to move before you're sure. Courage to act without applause. Because the real applause comes later. After the hard work. After the sacrifices. After the long nights and the early mornings. After the lonely moments where you kept going even when no one believed in you. That's the moment people will say, "I always knew you'd make it." But you'll know the truth. You'll know they weren't there when it was tough. You'll know they didn't see the doubts you battled alone. You'll know they didn't feel the fear you pushed through. But you'll also know that none of that mattered. Because you didn't move for them. You moved for you. The goal is not to impress people. The goal is to become someone you're proud of. Someone who doesn't need a round of applause to stay committed. Someone who doesn't fall apart at the first sign of rejection. Someone who is steady, grounded, disciplined. You can train yourself to be that kind of person. You can start today. You can stop asking for permission. You can stop waiting to be liked. You can stop seeking validation. And you can start moving. One step at a time. Quietly, confidently, consistently. The sooner you do that, the sooner you reclaim your freedom. The freedom to be yourself. The freedom to pursue your calling. The freedom to rise on your own terms. And that kind of freedom doesn't just change your life. It changes everything around you. Because when you stop living for approval, you start living with purpose, and nothing is more powerful than that. Chapter 4. Master your focus by ignoring outside validation. Validation from the outside world is one of the most common ways people lose focus. When you allow your attention to be pulled in different directions by what others think, say, or expect, you begin to drift away from your own center. You stop asking yourself what matters to you and start reacting to everything around you. That reaction weakens your discipline. It scatters your thoughts. And slowly, your energy becomes divided between what you want and what they want. That's the beginning of distraction. And distraction kills achievement. If you want to master your focus, you must be willing to let go of outside validation. That's the hard truth. It feels good when people agree with you. It feels good when they support your goals and compliment your effort. But if your discipline is tied to their approval, then your progress depends on something you can't control, and anything you don't control can't be trusted. The people around you will always have opinions. Some will praise you, some will criticize you, some won't care either way. But your ability to stay locked in has to come from within. When you rely on outside voices to fuel your focus, you're building your mindset on shaky ground. That kind of motivation doesn't last. It's fragile. It disappears when the noise changes, and the noise always changes. You need a focus that's rooted in something deeper. Your reason, your goals, your standards. That kind of focus isn't loud. It's steady. It's not driven by applause. It's driven by purpose. When you find that, you no longer need the crowd to cheer for you. You no longer need to post about your every move. You no longer care if people understand your vision, because you understand it, and that's enough. Look at your day. How much of it is spent doing things that actually move you closer to your real goals, and how much of it is spent managing how you're perceived? Every time you check for likes, every time you scan for feedback, every time you hesitate to act because you're unsure how others will take it, that's a crack in your focus. That's energy being pulled away from what really matters. You don't need people to agree with your path for it to be the right one. You don't need anyone to approve of your direction for it to make sense. Your results will speak louder than any explanation you can offer. But those results only come when you protect your mind from distraction and stay locked in. Focus isn't a feeling, it's a discipline. It doesn't just happen. You build it. You practice it. And most importantly, you protect it. Protect it from gossip. Protect it from scrolling. Protect it from opinions that don't come from people who've earned your respect. Protect it from noise that makes you second-guess yourself. Some people are so hooked on outside validation that they never finish anything. They start with energy. They talk about their goals. They share their plans. But the moment the response is lukewarm, or someone disapproves, they stop. Their fire goes out because it wasn't fueled by anything real. It was fueled by attention. And attention is inconsistent. You can't build a life around something that fades the moment the crowd moves on. If you want real focus, you have to become okay with being invisible for a while. You have to become okay with not being praised, with not being noticed, with not being celebrated. Because this isn't about how it looks, it's about how it works. You're doing the work to become someone better. You're building something that lasts. And that takes time. It takes silence. It takes a mental toughness most people never develop. Your focus is a reflection of your values. If you value attention, you'll chase it. If you value growth, you'll protect it. If you value clarity, you'll remove anything that clouds your thinking. That includes people. That includes platforms. That includes your own habits that keep you tethered to needing external recognition. Focus doesn't feel exciting every day. It feels repetitive. It feels quiet. It feels lonely sometimes. But that's where the breakthroughs happen. Not when the cameras are on. Not when everyone is watching. The growth happens in the hours when no one is paying attention. That's when you train your mind. That's when you push your limits. That's when you go from average to excellent. Most people don't talk about this because they want it to sound easy. They want focus to feel fun. They want you to believe that being great is just about setting goals and working hard when you feel like it. But the truth is, mastery only comes when you're willing to go deeper than that. When you stop chasing validation and start building a deeper relationship with discipline. You need to ask yourself one hard question. Are you doing this for you or for them? Are you showing up because you believe in your mission or because you want to be seen? Because if it's the second one, your focus will crack under pressure. The moment you're criticized, you'll question everything. The moment someone doubts you, you'll pull back. But if it's the first one, if your drive is internal, then nothing can shake it. You can train your focus just like you train your body. But you have to remove the distractions first. Start by noticing how often you look for feedback. How often you share something just to get a response. How often your thoughts drift to what others might say. That's the first step. Awareness. Once you see the pattern, you can break it. Next, replace those habits with real work. Not busy work. Real work. Work that challenges you. Work that stretches your mind. Work that builds your skill set. Focus grows when you feed it with effort. Not noise. Not attention. Not approval. Effort. Then create space. Physical space. Digital space. Mental space. Remove the things that tempt you to compare. The people who drain your energy. The apps that distract you. The habits that keep you reactive. Focus is not just about what you do. It's about what you don't do. It's about what you say no to. It's about what you block out so your mind can lock in. As you build this kind of focus, your relationship with results changes. You stop rushing. You stop obsessing over instant outcomes. You start trusting the process. You start respecting the work. And in time that creates something rare. Quiet confidence. Not arrogance. Not loud promises. Just a deep inner belief in what you're doing. That belief doesn't come from applause. It comes from doing the work. Day in and day out. And here's the truth. When you stop chasing validation, you get more done. Your mind stops spinning. Your emotions stop rising and falling with every opinion. You stop wasting energy, managing perceptions, and start pouring it into real progress. You become more efficient, more creative, more consistent, because all that noise is gone. And now your energy is fully directed. There will always be people who misunderstand your silence, who think you're arrogant, who think you're disconnected. But they don't see the full picture. They don't see the late nights, the long hours, the moments when you wanted to quit but didn't. That's okay. You're not doing it for them. You're doing it because this path means something to you. And when your work is rooted in meaning, the need for validation fades. In time people will notice, but by then it won't matter, because you'll already be deep in your growth, deep in your purpose, deep in your craft. And that's when results begin to show. Not forced, not rushed, but earned, slowly, quietly, powerfully. That's the kind of focus that changes everything. The kind that's not moved by noise. The kind that stays sharp under pressure. The kind that keeps going no matter who's watching. It's rare, but it's real, and you can build it. You don't need more approval. You need more focus, more stillness, more intention. Start today. Disconnect from the noise. Reconnect with your goals. Get back to the work. Focus without needing to be seen. Because the real win isn't just in what you achieve. It's in who you become while the world isn't looking. Chapter 5. Earn your confidence by staying disciplined every day. Confidence is not something you wake up with, it's something you build, and you build it through discipline. Not once a week, not when it's convenient. Every single day, discipline is what gives you proof of who you are becoming. It's not about how you feel in the moment. It's about what you do when the feeling fades. That's where confidence comes from. Daily action, repeated effort, quiet consistency that adds up when no one is watching. Most people wait for confidence to show up before they begin. But confidence doesn't come first. Work comes first. Effort comes first. You build your belief by showing yourself that you can stay the course. One day at a time, one decision at a time. That's how trust in yourself grows. You see it in your actions. You watch yourself follow through. You experience what it feels like to keep a promise to yourself even when it's uncomfortable. That's what creates strength on the inside. Discipline isn't loud. It doesn't beg for attention. It doesn't demand applause. It shows up without excuse. It steps into hard days without hesitation. It keeps moving through frustration. And every time you choose it, you're stacking bricks of confidence, quietly, steadily. You don't need to talk about it. You don't need to explain it. You just live it. And in time, people start to notice something different about you. They see the certainty in your eyes. They hear the strength in your voice. But they didn't see the discipline that created it. You can't fake confidence, not real confidence. You can fake words. You can fake appearances. But you can't fake the inner fire that comes from showing up when it's hard. You can't fake the mental strength that's forged in silence. You have to earn that. And earning it means being honest with yourself when it's easier to lie. It means doing the work when no one's clapping for you. It means pushing through the quiet seasons when results feel far away. The world tries to sell you quick confidence, affirmations, hacks, tricks. But that kind of confidence is weak. It disappears the moment pressure hits. You want a kind of confidence that stays with you no matter the situation. One that doesn't break under criticism. One that doesn't depend on how others treat you. That kind of strength can't be bought. It has to be earned through discipline that never takes a day off. When you live with discipline, you no longer need outside validation to feel capable. You know your worth because you've proven it to yourself. You've seen what happens when you keep going. You've felt the shift that happens when you turn down distractions and focus on what matters. You've experienced the power of moving forward when motivation is nowhere to be found. That's when something changes in you. You stop second-guessing. You stop shrinking. You stop pretending. Confidence earned through discipline doesn't shout. It stands tall. It doesn't rush to prove itself. It moves with quiet authority. It's not based on talent. It's built through effort. You don't need to be the most gifted. You just need to be consistent. You need to be relentless. You need to be committed to your standards, not your mood. Because moods change, but standards stay. And your standards are what shape your future. Some people talk about discipline like it's restrictive, like it takes the fun out of life. But the truth is, discipline gives you freedom. Freedom from regret. Freedom from weakness. Freedom from the chaos that comes from living on impulse. When you're disciplined, your days are structured around progress. Your time is aligned with your values. Your choices are guided by purpose. That's not restriction. That's power. The hard part is that discipline doesn't reward you right away. It doesn't give you instant results. That's why so many people give up. They want the reward without the repetition. But if you're patient enough to stay the course, you'll start to notice something shift. You'll stop needing everything to go your way to feel strong. You'll stop needing every day to be perfect to keep going. You'll start relying on your habits, not your hope. And that's when you gain real momentum. Every time you choose discipline, you sharpen your mind. You increase your clarity. You strengthen your decision-making. And those small wins begin to add up. Maybe it's getting up early when you wanted to sleep in. Maybe it's finishing your workout when you were tired. Maybe it's writing that page when your mind was foggy. These moments feel small, but they're everything, because they are the moments you prove to yourself that you can be counted on. When you don't follow through, it doesn't just affect your goals, it chips away at your self-respect. You start to question yourself. You start to doubt your ability to stay consistent. And that self-doubt spreads. But when you stay disciplined, something very different happens. You develop a sense of calm confidence. You know that even if today's hard, you can handle it. You've built proof. That's the most solid form of belief there is. Evidence from your own effort. Discipline is also what keeps you grounded when emotions run high. Life will test you. You'll get frustrated. You'll get distracted. You'll face setbacks. But if you've trained yourself to stay focused through discipline, those moments don't destroy you. You stay balanced. You stay in control. You adjust and keep moving. That's what separates people who grow from people who give up. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's daily discipline. The discipline you build today carries into every area of your life. How you show up at work. How you take care of your body. How you manage your thoughts. How you handle your relationships. It's all connected. When you become a disciplined person, people feel it. They feel your stability. They feel your presence. And most importantly, you feel it too. You stop needing to prove yourself. You just are, because you've become someone reliable, someone solid. There's nothing more powerful than knowing you're the kind of person who keeps going no matter what. That knowledge isn't ego. It's earned. It's built from struggle, from sacrifice, from getting up again and again. It's not pretty. It's not flashy, but it's real. And it gives you a foundation that can't be shaken. Stop looking for confidence in the mirror. Start finding it in your habits, in your choices, in the way you spend your time. Stop waiting to feel ready. Start deciding to be ready. That's what discipline is. A decision to take control of your actions, of your schedule, of your future. And yes, there will be days when you slip. That's part of the process. But even on those days you have a choice. You can give up, or you can get back to it. You can drown in guilt, or you can recommit. What matters isn't perfection. What matters is that you keep coming back stronger. That resilience is part of discipline too. It's not just doing the right thing. It's correcting yourself quickly when you don't. Over time, that self-correction becomes your strength. You stop fearing mistakes. You stop avoiding the hard path. You start seeking the truth about yourself. And the truth is this: confidence isn't found. It's earned. Through discipline, through consistency, through living in alignment with your standards. If you want to change how you see yourself, start by changing how you show up. Every single day, do the work even when you don't feel like it. Stick to your habits, even when no one's watching. Keep your promises even when they're small, especially when they're small, because those small promises add up to a deep sense of belief in yourself. This isn't about being better than anyone else. It's about becoming the best version of yourself, the strongest version, the most focused version. That version is not built on chance. It's built on discipline. It's built on your decision to rise every day and do what needs to be done regardless of how you feel. Confidence is a side effect of effort. It's a byproduct of integrity. It shows up when your actions and your words match, when your goals are backed by work, when your days are led by intention. If you want to feel powerful, do powerful things. Choose the hard path. Stick with it. Repeat it. Your future self is shaped by what you do now, not what you say, not what you hope for, what you do. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Cross it. Every single day, walk the path even when it's lonely, because on the other side is a version of you that doesn't question your worth, that doesn't look for permission, that doesn't break under pressure. That version is waiting, but you have to earn it. Chapter 6. Respect your vision by keeping your plans private. Success is not about the number of people who know your plans. It's about how deeply you believe in them and how committed you are to seeing them through. When you have a vision, you don't need to broadcast it to the world. The energy spent talking about what you plan to do is energy that should be invested in doing it. Plans are fragile things. They can easily be misinterpreted, criticized, or even doubted by those who don't understand the full scope of your dream. And too often, when you share too much, you invite the kind of distractions that hold you back from truly executing your goals. Every great accomplishment in life started as a quiet, personal vision. It's the small, private decisions you make day after day that lead to success. It's not the validation from others or the applause that fuels your drive. It's the quiet faith you have in yourself. And this is why it's important to keep your plans to yourself. Not everyone will see the potential in your vision, and often, people will project their fears onto you. They may not mean to, but that's just how people are. They speak from their own limitations and insecurities. When you share your plans prematurely, you expose them to criticism before they even have a chance to be realized. It's like showing someone the sketch of a painting before you've even started. They can't see the masterpiece in your mind. They can't feel the passion that drives you. So what do? They give their opinion, and sometimes that opinion can plant a seed of doubt. You begin to question yourself, question your abilities, and start doubting the path you've chosen. You cannot afford to let other people's doubts infect your mindset. The most successful people in the world didn't gain their success through constant validation from others. They gained it by having a vision, keeping it to themselves, and relentlessly working toward it in silence. This doesn't mean you should never share your goals. There are moments when discussing your vision with the right people can provide clarity or open the door to new opportunities. But these conversations should be intentional. They should only happen with those who support your vision, those who genuinely want to see you succeed, and those who are capable of offering constructive feedback. It's about having a circle that lifts you, not one that pulls you down. But this isn't a reason to run out and tell everyone you meet about your goals. The reality is that most people will not understand your vision until they see the results of your work. When you keep your plans private, you give yourself the space to grow and develop without the weight of outside opinions influencing your actions. There's another reason why keeping your plans private is critical: protecting your energy. Sharing your vision with the wrong people can drain you. Imagine sharing an idea with someone who isn't supportive, who doesn't see your potential, or who doesn't believe in the work it will take to bring your vision to life. They may question your plan, challenge your commitment, or suggest alternatives that distract you from your path. This kind of interaction takes energy. It shifts your focus from doing the work to defending your dreams. Instead of putting energy into your goals, You're putting energy into conversations that don't serve you. And that's energy you can't afford to lose. Your vision requires your undivided attention. It requires focus. The energy you spend talking about your plans is energy you could have spent taking action, building, and creating. Your time is precious, and when you share your plans with the wrong people, you give away your power. You begin to seek validation, permission, or approval, and that diverts you from your true purpose. Your vision needs to be nurtured in a space where it's safe, where it can grow without external pressures or distractions. When you keep your plans private, you also build discipline. You stop relying on external validation to fuel your motivation. Instead, you rely on your own belief in your vision and your ability to execute. Every day you wake up and work toward your goal, not because someone is watching, but because you believe in the work and the results. This strengthens your internal drive. It reinforces the habit of staying focused on the task at hand, even when no one else knows what you're working on. There's a difference between sharing your goals and prematurely seeking approval. It's easy to mistake the desire to share your vision with the need for affirmation. But the truth is, you don't need the approval of others to move forward. You are enough. Your vision is enough. The work you do is enough. There will always be people who don't understand what you're trying to achieve, and that's okay. Not everyone is meant to see your vision. Not everyone is meant to support your journey. But the people who matter, the people who truly care, will respect your need for privacy. They will understand why you're choosing to stay focused and why you're choosing to work in silence. The most successful people in history were not constantly talking about their plans. They were working, learning, growing, and quietly executing. Their actions spoke for themselves. The results they created were so loud that no one could ignore them. And when you keep your plans private, you give yourself the opportunity to do the same. You take away the pressure to explain yourself and focus entirely on doing the work. Your success will be your proof. Your results will speak volumes, and the people who matter will see it for what it is. Keeping your plans private also allows you to fail in peace. Failure is a part of the process. It's not something to fear. It's a stepping stone toward success. But when you're trying to impress others, failure becomes a much bigger deal. You start worrying about how others will perceive you, and that fear holds you back. When you keep your plans private, you don't have to worry about the opinions of others. If things don't go as planned, you can learn from the experience, adjust your approach, and keep moving forward without the pressure of explaining yourself. Your vision is unique. It's yours, and no one else will understand it the way you do. They can offer advice, they can share their own experiences, but only you know what truly drives you. When you share your vision with the world before it's ready, you risk losing the essence of what it means to you. Your vision is your fuel. It's what will keep you going when things get tough. Protect it, keep it safe, and let it grow on your terms. Remember, your work will do the talking. The impact you make will be your voice. The results you produce will be louder than any words you could say. Your success will be evident to those around you when the time is right. They will see the transformation, the commitment, and the strength that comes from working in silence. Your vision will speak for itself. Focus on the work. Focus on your journey. Focus on your growth. Keep your plans private, protect your energy, and let your results become the loudest message you send to the world. This is the way to build something that lasts. This is how you respect your vision, by honoring it with your actions, your dedication, and your silence. Keep moving forward, one step at a time, and let the work you do speak for itself. Chapter 7. Stay hungry by letting your actions speak louder. The true measure of hunger lies not in the words you speak, but in the actions you take. Everyone has dreams, But what separates the talkers from the doers is the intensity and commitment with which they pursue those dreams. Success is not a matter of wanting something. It's about the relentless, unwavering effort you put into your actions every single day. The hunger to achieve is a driving force, but without action, it is merely a desire, a wish. If you want to stay hungry, you must let your actions do the talking. People often talk about the importance of ambition. They dream big, set goals, and paint pictures of a future filled with success. But the reality is that dreams mean nothing if they're not backed up with hard work. It's easy to say you want something, to tell others what you plan to do, but it's the execution that truly matters. Let your hunger for success fuel your daily actions. Don't wait for the perfect moment or the perfect set of circumstances. Just begin, no matter how small the first step may seem. Taking action, no matter how insignificant it may seem in the beginning, creates momentum, and momentum is the key to turning dreams into reality. The world is full of people who talk a big game. They tell you about their dreams, their ideas, and their plans. But if you look closely, you'll see that very few of them actually do anything. They get caught up in the excitement of their ideas, but when it comes to taking consistent daily action, they falter. This is where the difference between talkers and doers becomes apparent. The ones who succeed are the ones who take action, who show up every day and put in the work. They don't need to shout about their plans or tell everyone what they're going to do. Their actions speak for themselves. When you let your actions speak louder than your words, you stop seeking validation from others. You stop waiting for someone to recognize your effort. The satisfaction of knowing you're doing the work becomes enough. This is where real growth happens. You become more focused, more determined, and less concerned with what others think. Success doesn't need to be explained. It needs to be shown. It's like planting a tree. You don't need to tell people it's growing. You just need to take care of it, and eventually it will bear fruit. People who stay hungry are always learning. They understand that there is no finish line in the pursuit of greatness. Success doesn't come in a single giant leap. It comes in small, consistent steps taken over time. The person who is truly hungry for success never stops growing, never stops learning, and never stops improving. They understand that the moment they stop striving for excellence is the moment they begin to decline. Their hunger is their drive, but it is their actions that turn that hunger into something real, something tangible. They don't wait for opportunities to fall into their laps. They create their own opportunities by working relentlessly toward their goals. Hunger is not a passive state. It's an active, vibrant energy that demands to be channeled into something productive. If you're hungry for success, then you have to constantly feed that hunger by taking action. It's not enough to just talk about what you want. You have to prove it by showing up, putting in the work, and staying consistent. Hunger is about the long game, not the short bursts of effort. It's about working when it's hard, working when no one is watching, and working when others would rather quit. Every successful person, every person who has truly made a mark in the world, has faced challenges and setbacks. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple. They kept going. They didn't let failure define them. They didn't let rejection discourage them. They didn't wait for the perfect moment. They took action, and they took it relentlessly. That is the essence of staying hungry. The hunger to succeed drives you to take action in the face of obstacles. It fuels you when things get tough. It pushes you to keep going even when the path ahead seems unclear. When your actions speak louder than your words, you become unstoppable. You stop worrying about what people think or whether they believe in your vision. You stop asking for permission. You stop waiting for the right time. You just start, and you keep going. And every time you take action, you get closer to your goal. Every time you push through fear or discomfort, you gain more confidence. Every step you take, no matter how small, brings you one step closer to your dream. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that success is about having the right connections or being in the right place at the right time. While these factors can certainly play a role, they are not the driving force behind success. What truly makes the difference is the ability to take action. It's about showing up every day, putting in the work, and refusing to give up. The world doesn't owe you anything. No one is going to hand you success on a silver platter. You have to go out and earn it through your actions. The hunger to succeed is a mindset, but it's also a choice. You have to choose to stay hungry. You have to choose to take action, even when it's uncomfortable or difficult. You have to choose to keep going when others would quit. You have to choose to keep learning, keep improving, and keep pushing forward. Every day is an opportunity to prove your hunger. Every action you take is a reflection of that hunger. The more consistent you are, the more you prove to yourself and to the world that your hunger is real, and that you will stop at nothing to achieve your goals. Success is not about how many people you can convince to believe in your dreams. It's about how many people you can inspire by showing them what your actions can accomplish. Your success will speak louder than any words ever could. It will inspire others to take action in their own lives. It will show them that anything is possible if you're willing to work for it. So stay hungry. Keep pushing. Let your actions speak louder than any words you can say. Stay focused. Stay driven. And never stop working. Chapter 8. Strengthen your mindset by avoiding unnecessary attention. The world is full of distractions, noise, and constant attention-seeking behavior. Everywhere you turn, there's someone trying to grab your attention, trying to pull you away from your focus. And if you're not careful, you'll find yourself swept up in it. But the key to strengthening your mindset is learning to avoid unnecessary attention. It's about creating space for your thoughts, for your growth, and for your focus. It's about quieting the external noise so you can hear your own inner voice. When you constantly seek validation from others or give in to the pressure of external expectations, you weaken your own mindset. You give others power over your thoughts, your actions, and your goals. Your focus becomes scattered, your energy drained, and your confidence eroded. You find yourself acting in ways that don't align with who you really are or what you truly want to accomplish. The first step in strengthening your mindset is to learn how to protect your mental space by avoiding unnecessary attention. In this fast-paced world, we are constantly bombarded with messages. Social media, news, conversations with others. It's all designed to pull your attention in 1,000 different directions. And while some of these things can be useful, many of them are distractions. They serve no real purpose in helping you achieve your goals or strengthen your mindset. Instead of engaging with every new trend, every gossip, or every drama, you need to become more selective with where you invest your time and energy. You need to start prioritizing what matters most, and that means cutting out the things that don't serve your growth. The key to avoiding unnecessary attention is to set clear boundaries. Boundaries aren't just for other people, they're for your own protection. If you're constantly checking your phone, constantly looking for approval, constantly seeking validation from others, you're never going to find the space to focus on your own growth. Your mindset will remain weak, pulled in every direction by the demands of the outside world. You have to be intentional about protecting your energy and your focus. You have to set boundaries around the things that waste your time and energy. One of the most effective ways to avoid unnecessary attention is to stop seeking external validation. When you constantly seek approval from others, you're giving away your power. You're allowing other people's opinions to dictate your sense of worth. This external validation may feel good in the moment, but it's fleeting. It's like a temporary fix that leaves you empty and searching for more. The truth is, you don't need anyone's approval but your own. You don't need to seek validation for your decisions, your actions, or your vision. When you stop seeking approval, you strengthen your mindset because you stop letting others control your thoughts and your behavior. This doesn't mean you have to isolate yourself from the world, but it does mean that you need to be more intentional with where you place your energy. Stop engaging in conversations that drain you. Stop following people who only bring negativity, and stop wasting time on things that don't move you closer to your goals. It's time to get selective about what you allow into your life. The more you protect your mental space, the stronger your mindset becomes. Another crucial aspect of avoiding unnecessary attention is learning to say no. You can't say yes to everything and still maintain your focus. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your goals or values, you're taking energy away from what really matters. Saying no isn't selfish. It's a form of self-care. It's a way of protecting your time, your energy, and your mental clarity. You have to learn to say no to distractions, to people who don't respect your boundaries, and to situations that don't serve your purpose. This is how you create the space to grow, to focus, and to strengthen your mindset. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that you need to be involved in everything, that you need to be seen, heard, or validated in order to be successful. But the truth is, the most successful people are often the ones who stay out of the limelight. They don't seek attention. They don't try to impress anyone. They focus on their work, on their growth, and on their own journey. They understand that true success comes from within, not from the approval or recognition of others. They don't need the world's attention because they're focused on what's most important to them, their own progress. When you avoid unnecessary attention, you begin to build resilience. You stop worrying about what others think, and you start focusing on what you can control. You stop letting other people's opinions dictate your decisions. This is where real growth happens. When you stop seeking validation, you start trusting yourself. You start believing in your own abilities. You start developing the mental toughness that is required to succeed. Strengthening your mindset also means learning to trust the process. It means understanding that your journey is your own, and that you don't need to compare yourself to others. When you constantly seek attention or validation, you open the door to comparison. You start measuring your progress against someone else's, and that only weakens your mindset. Focus on your own path, your own growth, and your own progress. Trust that, if you stay committed and focused, you will achieve your goals. You don't need to keep looking around to see what others are doing. You don't need to let other people's success define your own. Your journey is yours, and it doesn't need anyone's approval. Avoiding unnecessary attention also involves cultivating a sense of inner peace. The more you focus on external validation, the more anxious and unsettled you become. You start seeking constant reassurance, constantly checking your social media, constantly measuring your worth by the reactions of others. This creates a cycle of anxiety and self-doubt. When you avoid unnecessary attention, you begin to find peace in silence. You don't need external sources of validation to feel good about yourself. You begin to feel confident in your own decisions, your own actions, and your own ability to succeed. In the end, strengthening your mindset is about taking control of your mental environment. It's about protecting your thoughts, your energy, and your focus from the distractions that can weaken you. It's about learning to say no to things that don't serve your growth, and saying yes to the things that help you move forward. It's about avoiding unnecessary attention so that you can put all your energy into the things that truly matter. The more you protect your mental space, the stronger your mindset becomes. The more you focus on your own journey, the more resilient and confident you become. And in the end, it's this inner strength that will carry you to success. Chapter 9. Win your battles before showing them your power. Winning battles is not always about the grand public display of power or skill. It's not about the flashy moments that draw attention or make you the center of everyone's focus. True victory lies in the quiet preparation, the consistent work, and the internal battles that nobody else sees. If you want to win, you must win your battles long before you show your power to the world. The strength you build in silence, the strategies you develop behind closed doors, and the mindset you cultivate during the tough times all contribute to the victories that will eventually manifest on the outside. The first part of winning any battle is understanding that it's not about proving yourself to others. It's not about showing the world how strong you are or flaunting your abilities. True power comes from within, and it's about knowing, deep down, that you are capable of achieving anything you set your mind to. When you focus on building your internal strength, developing your mindset, and improving yourself daily, you are already winning before the world even knows about it. One of the most important lessons in life is that the most significant battles are often fought internally. These are the battles of self-doubt, fear, procrastination, and the battle to stay focused on your goals. You're not always going to feel confident, and there will be times when your mind will tell you to quit or give up. But the true test of character comes when you push through those moments. You don't have to announce your victories to the world, you just need to keep moving forward, even when it's hard. These internal battles are the foundation of your success. Think about the times in your life when you've faced a challenge or adversity. Most likely, you didn't announce it to the world beforehand. You didn't wait for the spotlight to shine on you. You simply went to work. You put in the hours, you made the necessary sacrifices, and you kept showing up, even when no one was watching. And it was during that time, during the hard work and the quiet preparation, that you laid the groundwork for your eventual success. Winning your battles before showing your power means staying focused when everyone else is distracted. It means sticking to your plan, even when you don't see immediate results. In this world of instant gratification, it's easy to get caught up in the need for quick success. We're taught to look for external validation and immediate rewards. But the truth is, real success is built over time, and it requires a commitment to stay focused on the long-term picture. When you win your battles in silence, when you focus on the process instead of the outcome, you are setting yourself up for lasting success. When you're preparing for battle, you need to be strategic. This means doing the work that others aren't willing to do. It means staying disciplined when no one is holding you accountable. It means building habits that support your goals, even if it's difficult. Too many people want the results without putting in the effort. They want to win, but they're not willing to do the behind-the-scenes work. But if you want to truly win your battles, you need to show up consistently, day after day, putting in the effort even when you don't feel like it. Your commitment to your goals will determine how successful you become. Another crucial aspect of winning your battles before showing your power is controlling your emotions. Emotions can cloud your judgment and cause you to react impulsively. When you allow your emotions to dictate your actions, you lose control over the situation. To truly win your battles, you need to stay calm and composed, especially during times of stress or pressure. By mastering your emotions, you gain the clarity needed to make better decisions and take more effective actions. The battle is not won by reacting impulsively, but by responding with thoughtfulness and intentionality. You must also be aware of your environment. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, challenge you, and support your growth. The people you spend your time with can either empower you or hold you back. If you want to win your battles, you need to surround yourself with individuals who inspire you to be better, who hold you accountable, and who push you to achieve your goals. Keep your circle small but meaningful. Quality matters more than quantity, especially when it comes to the people you allow into your life. You will also face moments of doubt and uncertainty, and it's during these moments that many people give up. They want to see results quickly, and when they don't, they start to lose faith. But if you want to win your battles, you must keep going even when it's hard. Don't let the lack of immediate results derail your progress. Keep showing up, keep working, and keep moving forward, even when you can't see the finish line yet. Trust in the process and stay focused on your long-term goals. It's easy to get discouraged, but the key is to persist through those tough moments. Winning your battles before showing your power also means maintaining your integrity. The path to success isn't always easy, and there will be temptations along the way to take shortcuts, cheat, or lie. But true victory comes from staying true to yourself and your values. Don't compromise your principles for the sake of immediate gain. In the long run, your integrity will be what sets you apart. People will respect you not only for what you achieve, but for how you achieved it. When you're preparing to show your power, make sure you're ready to handle the responsibility that comes with it. Real power isn't just about achieving success, it's about handling it with grace, humility, and responsibility. When you've won your internal battles and put in the work, you'll be ready to share your success with the world. But it's important to remember that with success comes responsibility. How you use your power will determine the impact you have on others and the world around you. There's a saying that you don't have to announce your success to the world because your actions will speak for themselves. When you win your battles in silence, your results will show the world what you're capable of. You don't need to seek validation, approval, or recognition from others. The victory you've earned in silence will be evident in the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, and the results you produce. Finally, winning your battles before showing your power is about patience. It's about understanding that real success doesn't happen overnight. It takes time to build something great, and the journey is often filled with setbacks, failures, and obstacles. But if you stay committed to the process and keep winning your battles in silence, you will reach your destination. Keep your eyes on the prize, stay focused, and trust that your hard work will eventually pay off. So remember this, the greatest victories are won in silence, behind the scenes, when no one is watching. It's not about showing the world your power, it's about proving to yourself that you have what it takes to succeed. Win your battles, develop your mindset, and put in the work. When the time comes, your power will speak for itself. Chapter 10. Let your work prove what words cannot explain. The world is filled with people who talk, who say a lot but deliver little. They boast, they promise, and they dream aloud, but their actions fail to match their words. And while words are powerful, they are often meaningless without the effort to back them up. The true test of your ability, your commitment, and your potential lies in what you do, not in what you say. Let your work speak for you. Let the results of your efforts prove what words cannot explain. There's no need for excessive talk, no need to convince others of your worth or your intentions. If you want people to see your value, show them through your work. In this world, anyone can talk. Anyone can share their plans, announce their dreams, and describe their vision for the future. But what truly sets the achievers apart from the dreamers is the work they put in. When you focus on the task at hand, When you show up day after day and put in the effort, your actions will speak louder than any words ever could. The key to success is not in talking about what you want to do. It's in doing the things that will get you there, even when no one is watching, even when no one is clapping for you. People who speak constantly about their ambitions, their goals, and their plans may garner attention in the short term, but they are quickly forgotten when they fail to produce results. Their words may create noise, but it's only the work that creates real, lasting impact. The world will forget the words, but they will remember the results. Your work is your legacy. It is the proof of your dedication, the evidence of your commitment, and the measure of your discipline. It doesn't need to be explained or justified. It speaks for itself. This doesn't mean you should never speak about your goals or aspirations, but it means that your focus should always be on action, not talk. The more you talk about what you're going to do, the more pressure you place on yourself to deliver. Instead of making promises and creating expectations, focus on the work and let the results speak for you. Keep your head down, do the work, and let the fruits of your labor be the testimony to your character and capability. People who rely on words often fall short because they fail to follow through. They get caught up in the excitement of talking about their ideas, and when the time comes to deliver, they fall silent. The true difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple. The successful people do the work, and they do it relentlessly. They understand that no amount of talking can substitute for actual tangible results. It doesn't matter how much you know, how many books you've read, or how well you can explain your plan. What truly matters is how much effort you put into turning that plan into reality. There's a certain power in letting your work speak for you. It removes the pressure to prove yourself through words, and it eliminates the need to convince others that you're capable. Your actions speak louder than any self-promotion ever could. When you consistently put in the work, others will notice. They will see your dedication, your perseverance, and your commitment to getting things done. And when that happens, you will gain the respect and recognition that you truly deserve. Think about the greats, the successful entrepreneurs, athletes, leaders, and innovators. How many of them spent their time bragging about their potential? Not many. They focused on their work, and their results spoke for them. The world knows their names not because of the words they used, but because of the impact they made through their actions. You don't need to convince anyone that you're capable. Your work will do that for you. It's the sweat, the effort, the hours spent refining your craft, and the dedication to improvement that will ultimately prove your worth. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that you need to explain yourself to others, especially when you're passionate about your goals. You want people to understand your vision, to appreciate your drive, and to acknowledge your potential. But the reality is that most people will never fully understand your journey, and that's okay. You don't need their approval. You don't need their validation. What matters is the work you do and the progress you make. When you focus on doing the work rather than explaining it, you free yourself from the need for external validation. The need to explain or justify your actions often comes from a place of insecurity. You want others to see your vision, to believe in your potential. But you must recognize that the only person whose belief matters is your own. Your self-worth isn't determined by the opinions of others, and your success isn't defined by how many people praise or acknowledge you. It's determined by your ability to do the work, day in and day out, without seeking approval or validation. The people who are truly successful don't need to explain their every move. They are too busy working on their craft, improving their skills, and striving for greatness. They don't waste time trying to convince others of their worth, because they know that their work will speak for them. And when it does, others will take notice. They will respect your dedication, your commitment, and your results. You won't need to say a word. Your actions will tell the story of your success. When you shift your focus from words to actions, you begin to build something much more powerful: momentum. Every small task you complete, every bit of progress you make, and every step forward you take adds to your momentum. This momentum will propel you forward, even when things get tough. It will keep you moving, even when the results are slow to come, and when the time comes for you to show the world what you've accomplished, your momentum will carry you to new heights. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces in the world. When you start moving, when you start doing the work, you build momentum that becomes harder and harder to stop. It doesn't matter how small your steps are at first. Every little bit of progress adds to the larger picture. And when that picture is complete, you'll have something truly remarkable to show for all your efforts. In the beginning, you might not see immediate results. You might not feel the satisfaction of accomplishment right away, but don't let that stop you. Keep going, keep doing the work, keep putting in the effort, even when it feels like no one is noticing. The key is consistency. Day after day, task after task, your work will slowly build the foundation for something great. Let your actions do the talking. Let your results be the proof of your effort, dedication, and commitment. You don't need to explain everything. Just keep working and let the work speak for itself. When you do this, you not only prove your worth, but also set an example for others to follow. Your dedication and consistency will inspire those around you, and they will begin to see what's possible when you focus on the work instead of the talk. In the end, words are just words. They can sound powerful, they can create excitement, and they can inspire others for a short time. But actions, real, meaningful actions, create lasting change. Your work will tell the story of who you are and what you're capable of. So instead of talking about what you're going to do, show the world through your actions. Let your work prove what words cannot explain. And remember, when you focus on the work, the results will speak for themselves.